Welcome back everyone to another episode of ASI Outdoors. Today we're going to be focusing on salmon fishing in the Vancouver area, Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Alaska, Vancouver Island, etc. So some of the stuff that we have today, we're going to go into an in-depth kind of a little bit of a view with everything here. Going to hand tie some hoochies and also hand tie some leader line for some spoons. So this episode is brought to you by West Bay Shipyards. It's existed since 1967. We just want to give them a big thanks. And if you wouldn't mind, give us a like and subscribe, and a little bit of a show of support be a great help. Without further ado, we're going to go into a little in-depth review with everything and go from there. So we're going to start first with the hoochies. Some of these are going to be like your cheaper options that are not tied, that you'd have to tie yourself. And then these are some of your pre-tied options. Only thing with the pre-tied is they're usually a lesser pound test, and they tend to pull through if you end up getting like a really big fish on it. Get your own beads, gummy puck squid inserts, and then good quality leader line. One with some 50-pound. This stuff's like $50 for like 30 yards, something like that. So it's pretty expensive. Or sorry, 50 yards, so a buck yard. My apologies. And then there's going to be your spoons. So these are some common spoons that people use. Wonder Bread, of course, kind of looks like Wonder Bread. This is going to be your Party Girl. People commonly fish that at 69. Not sure what this one's called. I know this one's Cop Car. These all kind of have their own names. These have just been kind of popular in the last few years. I know they're kind of a little bit of a hidden secret for a while. They're Tasmanian Devils. And these have been really popular in the rivers and also in the ocean for pink salmon and coho. So people are fishing at like Ambleside, Fraser River with those and having good success. And you can pair them with a little hoochie and kind of make your own action, mix and match. So the other option is kind of more of a traditional option, which is mooching. So you can take something like this or one of these buzz bombs and then pair it with a barbless hook or pinch the barb on one of these other hooks and then just jig it up and down. And similarly to like bottom fishing, fished in the middle of the water column, it also is productive. That's how the old timers caught a lot of fish back in the day. So still a way to do it. Other options is cut plugs with frozen live bait. So you go buy some anchovies, herring, and then tie these. They have a rolling motion along with your flasher, and those create action and also can be very successful. I know a lot of the biggest fish that have ever been caught have been on cut bait. The other option is going to be plug. So these here is an atomic plug. Pretty popular as well. There's Apex, watermelon Apexes, stuff like that are popular. If you don't have a downrigger, Deep Six. This gets the line down further into the water column, so 30 feet, whatever. It's normally like a calculation depending on what it is, how many pulls that you let out will let the line out deeper. Good option for people if you're looking to have something is just pre-tie your stuff and then put it around a piece of cardboard like this. Helps keep things out of the way. We're gonna go on to the flashers. So with the flasher here, what we got is a classic setup. Red flasher with an army truck hoochie. This is pretty much guaranteed to catch a spring at any point. So you got your hotspot flashers and your Gibbs flashers. It's the main producer currently of flashers kind of in Vancouver at the timing of this being filmed. And yeah, basically what seems to be working right now is, like I said, the army truck with the red, and also the party girl with the purple. In terms of cohos, the white squids with the kind of glow yellow fluorescent. It's going to be a cop car flasher with army truck Hoochie, and then this is kind of more classic bait holder, similar to the cut bait before. So as you see, there's a whole bunch of different ways to go about this, and pretty much everything on this table will catch fish. It just depends what you want to do. So the cohos pretty much bite on anything here. They're a little bit greedy. In terms of the springs, what's been really working well is this year. The party girl, like I said. Of course, the army trucks always works well, and actually that white Hoochie has been working very well for the springs as well. In terms of the pink salmon, this Buzz Bomb smaller size that's pink is going to do really well if you're trolling little pink Hoochie like that. If you're casting, one of these little Tasmanian devils is the ticket. So hopefully that helps you guys in figuring out what you need, what you don't need. Just because you see everything here doesn't mean you have to buy this all at once. Those things where you can go a cheaper route. These are about $4 or $5, and you can buy some cheaper line and go to town, tie your own stuff, which I'm going to show you here, and save a bit of money with that. Buy a couple of these cheaper flashers. Sometimes these guide series flashers are around $20-something. These older style hotspots are, I don't know, sometimes around $15 to $16 if you're lucky. And then this is an older commercial style flasher. Sometimes people blow these out for like $5 or $6 a piece. So there's a way to get these things cheaper. Don't steal people's stuff. It's not cool. This is going to be a downrigger clip. So how this tends to work is you have your line, for example. So this is going to be off your rod. You go ahead and clip that in there like that. And then this goes on to the downrigger cable line like that. And then you send that down with the cannonball, and you basically drag it behind the boat. It sinks down there. So that's how you get it down. That's the most popular way to do it. And people either use the Cannon downriggers or the Scotty downriggers, which are the most popular, at least in this particular area. So I hope anybody interested in getting into salmon fishing, if that's helped you, give me a like, subscribe to Ace High Outdoors, and I hope that helped you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna do a simple Hoochie tutorial and how to tie it. This is just gonna be a little trick that my cousin taught me, who used to be a guide at Duncanby. His whole thing is the maximum 40 pound. I personally like the 50 pound. This stuff's gonna be cheaper. This stuff's very expensive. Doesn't really matter what you have. But so we got our Hoochies here. You can either go for 2 and put 1 in the other, or just use 1. It doesn't really matter. And then you're gonna also have some number 6 gamakatsu hooks, preferably. Barbless is already fine. Saves you having to pinch the barb. So what I'm gonna teach you is how to rig this without doing a snell knot, because a snell knot is a pain in the bee to tie. And most people know how to do an improved fisherman's knot. So really what you need is 40 or 50 pound, specifically with the Hoochies. The stiffness of the line is actually what gives it the action. So with the flasher, having that stiff line is actually a good thing. So we've ran the line through the hook, and then we're going to tie an improved fisherman's knot. So come back with that here in a second. This is a number 6 gamakatsu hook. And this is the 50 pound Japanese line. I'm gonna give this a bunch of wraps like you would like a smaller hook for trout fishing, bottom fishing, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna give it the old Hoochie. Put it through one way, and then instead of pulling it through, I'm gonna put it through back through the other side. So hopefully you saw that. Got my fat fingers in there. Again, give it the old Hoochie. And then without chafing the line or damaging it too badly, try and I'll pull it down and get it all cinched up. It's okay if it gets a little bit chafed because, I mean, it is 50 pound, but you don't want it out the bat to not be good. So there you go. Got your improved fisherman's knot. Big gnarly old knot, which, as people have tested on YouTube, this is one of the strongest knots in fishing, and it's also one of the easiest ones to tie. So you got that. You want it at least to be 36 inches in terms of your leader. You can pretty much, I mean, do this by hand. For most people, most guys know what 36 inches looks like. Oh, man. Just grab a knife, something like that. What I do is I grab 3 beads, and I'm gonna put, doesn't really matter what kind of beads you got, but these ones are like neon kind of thing. I think they're Gibbs. Just gonna alternate the pattern and then end up something like this. So this is gonna sit on the knot, and it's gonna sit like that. Playing a dangerous game there, but there you go. Your one Hoochie, and then your second Hoochie, and then you're gonna bite that off, of course, jam one in the other. So this is a slightly smaller Bass Pro one. This one is Danielson. And I'm just shoving it in there. There you go. Now after you've done that, put your line through. So this is the Hoochie. Then you just put it down in there, and then it just naturally sits just like that in there. And has its own little home, has its happy little time in there. And you don't really need a trailing hook because the way this hook is set up, it's already far enough down. It's an easy way for somebody, it's also an easy way for somebody to not have to worry about their snell not pulling through anymore. It's one of those things where this is just how I do it. You don't have to do it like that. This is how my cousin does it. He only really puts one bead in there. I decided to put 3 in there and do the double hoochie because it's basically just adding a bunch of different methods together, and I also think it's better to have it a little bit farther back here in the skirt instead of having it farther forward. So that's just my 2 cents. So there you go. That's how you tie it up. Hope that helps. Suggest having a swivel, some form. There's a crane swivel. There's also bead swivels as well that are slightly different that you can use. Look more like this here. So all what you decide to do in terms of your spoons, like this, take them out of the package, huck the hook as far as you can, never look at it again. If it's something like this that actually comes with a nice hook, you can kind of run it, just crush the barb, go ahead. If not, if it's one of these lure Jensen's, get a nice gamakatsu hook that's the 6/0 and put it on there, and then you won't have to worry about it. It'll last for years and years and years. In terms of leader length, if you're going for springs, you want it to be longer. It could be up until like 48 inches longest. And then if you're going for cohos, like 26 inches to 30 inches, a good sweet spot is like, I don't know, just 36 inches. You can catch them on every different length. Been having really good success with a longer leader on these kind of skinny spoons. Been catching big springs with these with nice long leaders. We're talking like 40-inch leaders. So the only problem with that is when you end up getting it in the boat, then you gotta end up backing up a bunch. So the one Hoochie, that's the yellow one, 3.5 inch. The Danielson is a 4.5. Calling this one the Mary Poppins Rig. Putting the little Hoochie that's a 3.5 and the 4.5 like this, boop. And did your little thing there with the single hook and tied it all up nice with 3 beads. And now it's just sitting there like minty beauty.